Hi, this is Dennis Gage. Thanks for tuning in to My Classic Car, home of the certified car nut. You know, not many car companies can boast being 100 years old, but Ford just became one of them. We're here at Ford World Headquarters in Dearborn, Michigan to join in their centennial celebration. There's everything here from the very earliest Fords to sneak peeks at the Fords of the future. Joining me now is John Nems, marketing manager and executive producer of the 100th anniversary.
Welcome to Dearborn, Dennis.
What a title.
Wow, it is a big title.
It is a big title. It's a mouthful. And what a responsibility this must have been. This is a massive celebration.
Yeah, we have 152 acres here at Henry Ford II World Center, and we've got over 100,000 people that are going to be here this weekend.
It's incredible. And people and cars of all eras, I mean, and from all over.
Yeah, we have over 3,200 classic cars on the property of all brands, all the Ford brands, not only Ford and Lincoln Mercury, but we have classic Jags here, classic Volvos, classic Land Rovers. So it's going to be an exciting weekend for the car lover.
Well, I've seen some Australian Fords. I mean, they're coming from every English Fords.
Largest contingent of Australian Falcons ever assembled in the United States.
This must have been a handful and a half.
It has been. For the last 2.5 years we've been planning it, but it's coming true as we speak. As they say in racing, ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
Well, beautiful day for it. And you've got all sorts of things going on throughout the week. What all is part of this?
Right, we have cars from our past, as we've already talked about, from our present, because we have all 8 brands here with the current model lineup, and then we have the largest gathering of Ford concept cars ever.
And that's got to be cool. I mean, you don't get to see those.
No, you get to see them individually at auto shows as we introduce them throughout the year, but here we brought them all back together for our extended Ford Motor Company family, all of you, to join us and see them all one time.
So in addition to the fabulous classic cars that are here, and there are some really wonderful cars here, what else is going on?
Well, we have a lot of entertainment tonight, and then we have the ability to ride in the car that put the world on wheels, the Model T, right over here at the Model T Journey.
I'd heard about that. You know, I'm dying to do that. You don't happen to know anybody that could maybe score a ride?
I think I know a few people. In fact, maybe we'll get Bill Ford to get you right up the front of the line.
Now you're talking. Let's go.
All right.
We could not pass up being part of Ford's 100th anniversary celebration at their world headquarters in Dearborn, Michigan. Ford sure knows how to throw a party. The celebration lasted for 5 days and had concerts, displays, track time, and of course, hundreds of classic Fords, Lincolns, and Mercurys to feast your eyes on.
Jack, this is beautiful. 1927 Model L Lincoln Limo. I mean, Lincolns are long, but this thing is the longest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, Dennis, it's on a stretched 150-inch wheelbase Lincoln chassis.
Whoa.
They built these chassis for ambulances and hearses, but they saved 5 of them to go to independent body companies. This car is a one-of-a-kind body. It was built by the Fleetwood Body Company in Fleetwood, Pennsylvania, and mounted on this Lincoln chassis.
Just beautiful. And I mean, the detailing on it's incredible. I mean, I see this gold trim. Is that gold?
That's 24 karat gold on there.
The lights?
The side lights are silver. The rest of the trim's nickel. And that little detail stuff costs a lot of money, but somebody ordered this car special when it was originally built here and sold in Paris.
Well, this had to be a high-dollar car even in its day. I mean, the steering wheel alone, I mean, I just love the bent wood, and you've got 3 windshields. I mean, this thing is, you know, you're protected back there.
Yeah, it was made for somebody to take his friends to the opera in real class.
So it was chauffeur-driven, but it's really kind of a...
It had a chauffeur and a footman.
So it was a 2-man crew.
The back's a little bit awkward getting in and out, so the footman would have jumped out and helped the people in and out of the back.
Boy, life is good, isn't it?
Yeah, for some people.
And this baby?
The intercom, there's a microphone in the back on a recoil that the owner of the car could talk to the driver.
But it was one way.
It was one way.
Driver couldn't argue.
The owner talked, the driver listened.
Boy, she is just absolutely beautiful. I'm so glad you brought it out today. This has got to be the longest car here.
Yeah, it's about 20 feet long, and I suppose it's the longest one.
Very nice. Hey, Jack, thanks a lot, man.
Thank you very much.
She's a beauty.
Although I've seen thousands of cars, even I get stumped from time to time. This next car looked like an Edsel, but then again, not one I'd ever seen.
Well, Jim, a 1960 Edsel Corsair, I can honestly say I've never seen one.
You probably haven't. There's only one in existence. Ford did make 3 cars, and then they destroyed all of them.
So this is really a prototype or a recreation of a prototype,
This is a
right?
recreation of the prototype, all done from pictures.
What'd you have to do to turn a Ranger into the Corsair prototype?
Well, we had to change the side trim on it, and we did that from the pictures that they had at the archives.
Uh-huh.
The interior
Yeah, how about the interior? That looks like NOS.
It is NOS. The products are actually reproduced by SMS. And they did make a few of the Corsair interiors because they were already in production when they decided to kill the model.
So this would actually have been the interior that went into the Corsair if they'd made the Corsair.
Absolutely.
Wow. But you know what caught my eye when I was coming by this car was this wild front end. I mean, it's the most distinctive Edsel front end I've ever seen.
Well, it is eye-catching, and that's one of the things that Edsel had always wanted to do, was to make you see the car from a block away and know that it was an Edsel coming down the street.
You would still catch it. So what would have powered the Corsair?
It's a 352 engine, which actually made it into production. They did put those engines in the stock cars.
Man, what a great car. I knew there was something about that car when I saw it.
It's
Very
definitely
cool.
different.
It's definitely different.
The 100th celebration wouldn't have been complete without a little Ford muscle. This beautiful 61 Galaxie Starliner sure did pack a punch with its 4-speed and hypo engine with 3 deuces. We went up to visit our old buddy John Balo in Wisconsin to take a peek at a Superbird that John said we just had to see. He wasn't kidding about this bird. What a car!
Well, today we're in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin with my good buddy and master restorer, John Balo. John, great to have you on the show again.
Thanks for having me, Dennis.
Well, you always have something wild when you're with me, and this is probably the wildest production car ever built, the 1970 Plymouth Superbird.
Wild from stem to stern, Dennis.
It is radical. It was really, but it was a NASCAR car. I mean, it was built for NASCAR running, right?
Built specifically to run NASCAR, as was the 1969 Charger Daytona.
Before it. Well, and that was back in the days when you actually ran stock cars in stock car racing.
That's exactly right. In 1970, the rule was the factory had to build at least 1,500 of a particular model to go racing.
And so they built how many of these?
The general accepted number is 1935 in a 90-day period.
Holy mackerel. Well, now they're wild. And of course, probably the most radical piece of this, and the thing that certainly sticks out and sticks up, is this wing.
At least on the back end of this car, Dennis, the wing is a cast aluminum aircraft-inspired spoiler.
It's heavy and it's bolted all the way to the frame, right?
It's actually well designed. As I said, made of cast aluminum, weighs about 60 pounds with the wing and all the hardware that's in the trunk to support it.
Well, let's look at that. I want to see how that's put in there. Oh, well, first thing I notice is the trunk lid doesn't go up very far.
That's correct, Dennis, because Plymouth added these small little blocks to keep the trunk from opening
and whacking the wing.
and whacking the wing. In addition to that, these supports were also welded into the top of the quarter panel, and then there was a plate welded to the top of the trunk extension and connected by a heavy steel bracket bolted together to help support this wing.
And this is a substantial piece of hardware here.
Very well designed and designed to do a lot of work in racing.
Yeah, it's really the car that almost caused the rule book to be rewritten, didn't it?
Well, NASCAR really did rewrite the rule book in 1971 specifically against this car and all of the aerodynamics.
You can't do this anymore. Okay, so started life as a road runner. We put the wing on the back, but when I go to the interior, I'm looking at basic road runner, aren't I?
For the most part, it's standard Roadrunner till we get to the front end. This is the bucket seat, decor group, console version of the 3 Roadrunner interiors that were available. You could order a Superbird in any one of those interiors.
Now, you got power windows.
This is one of 3 cars built with factory power windows that are known to exist. Very, very rare option, and it was ordered as a dealer demonstrator with power windows.
Wow, that is so cool. So I guess with the exception of the wing and the back window, from here back it's pretty much Roadrunner, but it changes again from here forward, right?
That's correct, Dennis. Right at the front of the door it becomes a Dodge Coronet with Coronet front fenders, hood, and a special plate that was attached to the hood to blend into the nose cone.
Wow. So, and the nose cone is not some fiberglass add-on either, right?
No, it is not. It's a stamped steel nose cone that was designed to hold the nose down at NASCAR speeds.
Now, this car has no bumper. None of them had bumpers.
None of them had bumpers.
And I've heard that some states wouldn't even register them because of that, and they would retrofit them if they needed to.
That is the rumor, Dennis.
Pretty wild. Now, you could get 3 different engines in 70. You could get the 444 barrel, the 446 pack, and the Hemi. What you got?
We've got a 444 barrel.
Let's open it up. Oh, yeah.
Very reliable.
Boy, you know, the other thing, I always like the Mopar engine bays being the exterior color because it really brings a lot of light in there. The engine looks fabulous.
Well, we always over-restore them and paint them as pretty as we can, and that's kind of a trademark.
But the 440 was a great engine. I mean, Hemi got a lot of the glory, but that was a very powerful, very strong engine.
That's correct. Do you want to feel the power, Dennis?
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, we're going to drive this baby, aren't we?
Yes, we are. In fact, I think you're going to be the captain today and take me for a ride.
You know, that's why I like having you on the show. Well, let's do it.
Let's go.
Let's pop the pin back in.
Pop 2 pins back in.
Good idea. All right. Beam me up, got it. Oh, listen to that. That's so fine. I can't wait.
It's good to be the king, isn't it, Dennis?
Whatever it pays.
Welcome back to My Classic Car. You know, John didn't have to ask me twice if I wanted to test drive this big yellow bird. I can't help but think about the Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote every time I buckle into one of these cartoon Mopars.
Now, in the restoration of this car, it was not very rusty.
No rust at all, Dennis. We had no rust repair to do. We did chemically dip the car and went through the complete process, including a MCR exclusive, which is e-coating. We completely submerged this car, doors, fenders, hood, trunk lid, in PPG e-coating.
Wow.
To give it the maximum corrosion protection.
How much of it did you disassemble in the restoration?
100%. This
Really?
was 100% ground up restoration.
Now, the wing, how many pieces are there in that?
The wing consists of 2 vertical uprights, the cross member, and I believe there's 3 steel brackets underneath inside the trunk on each side. So I would guess there's about 9 pieces to make up the wing. We were unable to chemically dip the wing because it is made of aluminum, so we media blasted it.
They couldn't sell these, they could hardly give these cars away in 1970.
I've spoke with many people that bought these new in 1972 and 1973 from the dealer at very discounted prices.
Brand new in 3 years later.
Exactly. My wife and I do drive it regularly, and in fact my wife loves to drive it to do errands. She doesn't necessarily leave it at the mall for hours and hours, but she will take it on errands occasionally.
Now, you built this for yourself, though. This is your toy, right?
Yes, exactly. I bought the car about 4 years ago. My wife and I bought the car 4 years ago, and we decided to restore it as a personal project. As I say, we're driving the 401k plan, Dennis.
Oh, man. John, what a day, what a car. We've done almost everything.
Well, Dennis, what else is there?
Well, lonely stretch of asphalt. We haven't done a burnout yet.
Well, show me what you got.
All right.